A Bad Mom's Christmas. The movie opens on Christmas Eve where Amy, Mila Kunis, is sitting alone in her house with all the Christmas decorations in ruins. She tells us that she's ruined Christmas for everyone just as a camel walks past her. Amy then decides to start at the beginning. 6 days earlier, Amy, like every other mom, is stressed out about making the holiday special for her family. As she is now with Jesse, J. Hernandez, and having his daughter Lori, Ariana Greenblatt, spend time with her kids Jane, Oona Laurence, and Dylan, MJ Anthony, Amy just wants to keep it chill for Christmas. Until she learns that her overly critical mother Ruth, Kristen Baranski, is coming over for Christmas. Amy expresses her dismay to Jesse, who assures her it'll be okay. Kiki, Kristen Bell, is still totally overworked with her 4 kids trying to mess with the Christmas tree, but this time her husband Kent, Lyle Bricotto, is lending a hand. Kiki is surprised when her mother Sandy, Cheryl Hines, shows up 3 days earlier than expected and is planning to spend the next 3 weeks with Kiki. Sandy loves Kiki so much that she wears sweaters with Kiki's childhood face on them, embarrassing Kiki. Carla, Kathryn Hahn, is at her job at the spa annoyed that so many women want their vaginas waxed for the holidays. When she gets home, her mother Isis, Suzanne Sarandon, is dropped off in front of her house from a tour bus where she starts to light up a joint. Carla is excited to see her mom and to spend time with her. Ruth arrives at Amy's home with her husband Amy's father Hank, Peter Gallagher. She immediately dismisses the house as being too drab for a proper Christmas celebration. Ruth has many plans for her stay, which Amy is already dreading. Ruth hires a crew to set up elaborate Christmas decorations outside the house, saying that Amy's decorating sucks. The theme is 12 Days of Christmas, complete with a box of partridges set to release them when the song finishes. Amy, Kiki, and Carla go to the mall, where they express their misery over the holidays. They cheer themselves up by getting drunk at the food court and then going around the mall being bad moms, including giving Santa lap dances and stealing a tree from Lady Foot Locker. Amy brings the tree home and Ruth calls it hideous. Ruth plans to bring the family to the 5-hour Russian production of the Nutcracker, which absolutely nobody is looking forward to. Amy decides to change the plan and go to Sky Zone to meet up with Kiki and Carla and their families. Ruth, Sandy, and Isis all meet and chat while their daughters have fun with their kids. They all get together to play dodgeball, which is fun even for Ruth. It gets down to her and Amy manages to distract Ruth long enough to take her down. Ruth considers the evening a travesty despite Hank seeing that she definitely had fun. Kiki and Kent get into bed and start to get intimate when they're interrupted by Sandy sneezing. She admits to watching Kiki fall asleep, and she sits there like it's no big deal. Kiki is horrified and annoyed at her mom and sends her out of the room. Kent is also embarrassed that Sandy saw his erection. At work, Carla meets a handsome guy named Ty, Justin Hartley, who asks that Carla wax his balls, taint, and butthole. She gladly does so, and he never flinches when she rips the patch off. Ty says he is competing in a sexy Santa competition, and he asks Carla to be his date. She enthusiastically says yes. Kiki brings Sandy to Dr. Carl, Wanda Sykes, to discuss the fact that Sandy is overbearing and that Kiki needs her space. Sandy believes they could be even closer, but Kiki disagrees. Sandy tries to guilt-trip Kiki into telling her that she has cancer, but she drops the lie once Kiki breaks down crying. Kiki then scolds Sandy and causes her to leave. Dr. Carl then goes off on Kiki saying she's the reason her mother is so crazy. Ruth forces Amy to go caroling with her across town so that they can win a trophy. To make things worse for Amy, Ruth makes the whole family go as characters from A Christmas Carol, with Amy having to dress up as Scrooge, with a fake nose and everything. Ruth brings a professional singing group with them as Amy has to knock on every door and recite lines. She is more humiliated when she reaches the home of Gwendolyn, Christina Applegate, who brings her friends over and takes pictures of Amy with the costume. They win the trophy, but Amy confronts Ruth and tells her to let her do things her way for Christmas. Ruth begrudgingly agrees. Amy and Kiki join Carla as they attend the Sexy Santa show. All the ladies in the room are impressed with Ty's dancing and the fact that he has a ridiculously large penis. To everyone's surprise, Isis gets up on the bar and starts dancing with Ty. Carla runs up to get Ty back, leading to her and Isis fighting for him until Isis falls off the bar and hits the floor. When Carla brings Isis home, Isis tells her she needs money for a new investment, but Carla knows she's just going to gamble it all away and then disappear from Carla's life like it's been for years. Later on, Carla and Isis are outside a supermarket in a wealthy neighborhood pretending to collect cans for the homeless, but instead blatantly grab food from the customers. Carla then decides, in the spirit of Christmas, she's going to let Isis borrow money anyway. It's Christmas Eve. Sandy tells Kiki that she put up a cash offer for the house next door so that she can live right next to Kiki. Kent takes the kids out of the room because he knows it's about to get ugly. Kiki tells Sandy straight up that she demands her space and wants her to back off. Sandy leaves the room crying. Amy brings Jesse and their kids back home from sledding. They see a lot of cars and people for a party, but Amy is pissed to learn that the party is at her house and that Ruth invited a bunch of strangers over. The house has been completely redone with nice decorations, a bigger tree, and a nice sculpture. Amy loses it and orders everyone out of the house. She argues with Ruth over what she's done, and she goes to get rid of the tree. As Amy and Ruth fight over the tree, they knock over all the decorations and end up destroying everything. Amy tells Ruth to get out of her house and her life for good. Ruth agrees. Dylan and Jane then show up, having witnessed everything. They chastise Amy for kicking Ruth out, saying she made everything nice for the holiday, and Jane tells Amy she screws everything up. Amy is left alone to cry on the stairs. Meanwhile, Carla finds a note from Isis after she bails on her, and Kiki is all alone as well. Ruth goes to her church for midnight mass. She is joined by Sandy and Isis. All the ladies criticize each other for their efforts as mothers, with each of them realizing their flaws. Hank talks to Amy over the fight. He acknowledges that, while Ruth can be difficult to deal with, she has always been insecure over her work as a mom toward Amy, always worrying whether or not she's done a good enough job, but she really does love Amy. Amy goes to the church to fix things up with Ruth. They apologize to each other and express their love for one another, which makes Sandy cry. Once the clock strikes midnight, Amy and Ruth rush home to fix the house and save Christmas. On Christmas morning, Jane and Dylan go downstairs to see the house looking clean and with new decorations. The family spends the day together. At the same time, Kiki makes up with Sandy, who tells her she put the neighboring house on the market and admits that she's just always felt lonely on Christmas since Kiki's father died. Carla is then visited by Isis, who is officially serious about turning her life around and even has a new job at Sky Zone. All the families get together at Amy's house for Chinese food. They are then visited by Ty, who starts to do a sexy dance for Carla, despite the children being present. Afterwards, Ruth, Sandy, and Isis announce that they have become friends and are now planning to take a trip to Vegas to the surprise of their daughters. They do a badass walk out the door to take a trip as bad grandmoms.